Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pastor Seth here. Hey, wanted to just remind you guys about our second Sunday back coming up this coming Sunday, June 14th. Super pumped for our second Sunday back. On top of that, we're going to continue to provide our live stream stuff. I got a ton of feedback this past week that last Sunday I was out of the shot on live stream way too much. So we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to fix that. We're going to actually be creating a different shot where I should be in the shot the whole time. I'm sorry. I apologize. Unbelievable. But we're excited. We're excited to be back at Embassy and Event Center in person, while at the same time continuing that live stream stuff for so many of you who still aren't comfortable and who still are thinking, I'm just going to give it some time before I would come back. That's what we're going to continue to do in the weeks to come. We're going to be providing those ways to worship. So you can continue to find us online on Facebook as well as YouTube. Make sure you're sharing those links out. Make sure you're liking those links so that we can continue to get that message out to as many people as we possibly can. In addition to that, I wanted to highlight today, just kind of re-highlight our reopening guidelines as a church. You can find those reopening guidelines at thedwellingtx.org. Go read through those. There's 8 big kind of bullet points that we highlight, and I wanted to just kind of bring up a couple even here on this video. This past Sunday, it was an interesting Sunday because everybody was excited to be back. It's good to see people and all these kinds of things, but there was definitely some challenges as it pertained to our reopening guidelines, and one of those things is just the social distancing. How can we continue to just provide space for people that are around us? And I know this is challenging because I know that some of you come with different perspectives and different viewpoints and all these kinds of things. And I know that that many of you, even now, as you're watching this, you're like, oh, Seth, but only if you had seen this one article or watched this video, then you'd really understand. Well, guess what? I've probably seen all those videos. I've probably seen all those articles. The reality is as kind of our leadership, we're continuing to move forward, not thinking about just one person or one perspective, but we're thinking about dozens and hundreds of people and dozens and hundreds of perspectives. And so as we move forward, we want to continue to highlight something like our social distancing, continuing to give each other that 6 feet of space. We even have this kind of represented with our chairs and the way we have those set up. In addition to that, we're also highlighting the hand sanitizer kind of stuff. We're continuing to encourage people to hit your hands with some hand sanitizer. In the restrooms, we're going to be having soap and make sure we're doing that for 20 seconds and cleaning our hands and those kinds of things so that we can just continue to minimize as best as we can germ spread and all that kind of stuff. We're encouraging masks. We're going to continue to encourage people to wear masks. If you'd like a mask when you're there and you forgot maybe a mask at home or something, you can go ahead and grab one that we have available for you as well. I'm excited, actually. We have 2 brand new automatic hand sanitizers that have come in finally, and so those will be out. So don't be afraid to just, boom, get hit with one of those without having to touch anything and get some hand sanitizer stuff on. In addition to that, we're also going to continue to watch for our attendance capacity and if we need to be adding more services. So just be aware that we are talking about those kinds of things, because the last thing I want is somebody to come out and not feel safe, not feel secure, not feel like we're abiding by those guidelines that we're trying to encourage and put out there to all of you. So if you could help us with that as we move forward into the weeks to come, and I know this is challenging because you come back and you're like, baby, let's just get rocking and rolling. But the reality is we got to continue to think about other people and other perspectives. And you know what? Come on. What's really the big deal of hitting your hands with some sanitizer, even though you maybe don't do this at home or something? You know what? If we're saying, man, hitting yourself with hand sanitizer might be a good thing, what's the big deal in just throwing a little bit of hand sanitizer on? Let's keep the main thing the main thing. And just a reminder, if you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling comfortable, if you got maybe even a little bit of a fever, or maybe you're just not feeling 100%, maybe don't make that the Sunday you come out. And let's just make sure we're coming back when we're feeling ready to come back and all those kinds of things. Cool. Thanks for letting me speak to you for a little bit about some of these highlights and just my excitement about us as a church being able to come back together while continuing to provide the online stuff. The Lord bless you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.